Today, we are going to read the third chapter of this book, Approaching the Dhamma. What attitude should we employ when we learn the Dhamma, when we study the Dhamma, and when we practice the Dhamma? This chapter will explore this theme. The introduction. One of the most distressing predicaments any earnest, open-minded spiritual seeker might face is the sheer difficulty of choosing from among the bewildering diversity of religious and spiritual teachings available. By their very nature, spiritual teachings make claims upon our allegiance that are absolute and all-encompassing. Adherents of a particular creed are prone to assert that their religion alone reveals the final truth about our place in the universe and our ultimate destiny. They boldly propose that their path alone offers the sure means to eternal salvation. If we could suspend all belief commitments and compare the competing doctrines impartially, submitting them to empirical tests, we would have a surefire method of deciding between them, and then our ordeal would be over. But it isn't that simple. Rival religions all propose or presuppose doctrines that we cannot directly validate by personal experience. They advocate tenets that call for some degree of trust. So, as the tenets and practices clash, we run up against the problem of finding some way to decide between them and negotiate their competing claims to truth. The introduction doesn't start directly with Buddhism or the Dhamma, but with all the spiritual systems, all the religions. Then how do we pick one? How do we choose one? Because all religions claim to have, here it mentioned, claims to reveal the final truth. Firstly, about our place in the universe and our ultimate destiny. Like this. And if you recall in the book that we read previously, The Noble Eightfold Path, Bhikkhu Bodhi also touched on this. So this chapter will explore deeper on this theme of choosing a spiritual system and testing it. Okay, any difficult words here? Let me see. Predicaments, let's see. Predicaments here means a difficult, unpleasant, or embarrassing situation. Okay. And then bewildering. Cause someone to be perplexed and confused. So one of the most distressing predicaments, one of the most distressing, unfortunate situations here, is to choose from so many confusing diversity of religious and spiritual teachings available. Let's take a look at allegiance. Allegiance means loyalty or commitment of a subordinate to a superior or of an individual to a group or cause. Let's go back. Okay, here, tenets here, the advocate tenets that call for some degree of trust. So tenets here means principle. So let's take a look. A principle or belief, especially one of the main principles of a religion or philosophy. That's for the first paragraph. Next paragraph, Sister IQ, would you like to read?
One solution to this problem is to deny that there is any real conflict between alternative belief systems. The adherents of this approach, which we might call religious universalism, say that at their core, all spiritual traditions teach essentially the same thing. Their formulations may differ, but their inner core is the same, expressed differently merely to accord with different sensibilities. What we need to do, the universalist says, when faced with different spiritual traditions, is to extract the kernel or inner truth from the pots of the exotic creeds. From ground level, our goals look different, but from the heights, we will find the goal is the same. It is like the view of the moon from different mountain peaks. Universalists in matters of doctrine often endorse eclecticism in practice, holding that we can select whatever practices we prefer and combine them like dishes at a buffet.
Thanks, Sister IQ. Let's take a look at these words. Exhortatory. Formal, especially of a doctrine or mode of speech intended for or likely to be understood by the general public. Okay, so the second paragraph proposed one solution to this problem. How? To deny that there's any real conflict between alternative belief systems. What does that mean? It's like some people will say, Buddhism and Christianity, same, and Islam, all same. But yeah, maybe some of them claims the inner core is the same, just expressed differently. Jesus and Buddha, not much difference. So and then some of these people, they also select whatever practices they prefer and combine them like dishes in a buffet. Yeah. So sometimes you do Buddhist chanting, Buddhist meditation, and also Christians prayer along with the Muslim fasting, Ramadan. So you can combine all this. But does this work? We will find out in the next paragraph. Sister Billy, would you like to read?
The solution to the problem of religious diversity has an immediate appeal to those disillusioned with the exclusive claims of dogmatic religion. Honest critical reflection, however, would show that on the most vital issues, the different religions and spiritual traditions take different standpoints. They give us very different answers to our questions concerning the basic grounds and goals of the spiritual quest, and often these differences are not merely verbal. To sweep them away as being merely verbal may be an effective way of achieving harmony between followers of different belief systems, but it cannot withstand close examination. In the end, it is as little tenable as saying that because they have beaks and wings, eagles, sparrows, and chickens are essentially the same type of creature, the differences between them being merely verbal.
Thanks, Sister Billy. Then this paragraph, the third paragraph, essentially rebuts, counters the argument made in the second paragraph that people can just combine whatever practices they want and it will work. Honest critical reflection would reveal that different systems, different religions take different standpoints. They give us very different answers to our questions concerning our goals of the spiritual quest, and these differences cannot withstand close examination, here Bhikkhu Bodhi says. And in the end, Bhikkhu Bodhi gives an analogy. It's like saying, yeah, they have big wings. So eagles, sparrows, and chickens are essentially the same. And the same type of creature. Okay, next paragraph, Sister Trigon, would you like to read?
It is not only theistic religions that teach doctrines beyond the range of immediate empirical confirmation. The Buddha, too, taught doctrines that an ordinary person cannot directly confirm by everyday experience, and these doctrines are fundamental to the structure of his teaching. We saw, for example, in the introduction to chapter 1 and 2, that the Nikayas envisage a universe with many domains of sentient existence spread out in boundless space and time, a universe in which sentient beings roam and wander from life to life on account of their ignorance, craving, and karma. The Nikaya presuppose that throughout beginningless time, Buddhas without number have arisen and turned the wheel of the Dhamma, and that each Buddha attains enlightenment after cultivating spiritual perfections over long periods of cosmic time. When we approach the Dhamma, we are likely to resist such beliefs and feel that they make excessive demands on our capacity for trust. Thus, we inevitably run up against the question whether, if we wish to follow the Buddha's teaching, we must take on board the entire package of classical Buddhist doctrine. Thank you.
Thanks, Sister Trigon. Now, in this paragraph, the Bhikkhu Bodhi explores from the angle of Buddhism itself. Does Buddhism have doctrines that people cannot confirm? So here, these lines, yes, Bhikkhu Bodhi said, the Buddha too taught doctrines that an ordinary person cannot directly confirm by everyday experience. And moreover, these doctrines are fundamental to the structure of his teaching. What are some of the examples? Here, what we have read so far, a universe with many domains of sentient existence spread out in boundless space and time. A universe in which sentient beings roam and wander from life to life on account of their ignorance, craving, and karma. Can we directly see this from ourselves? Probably not on our level, not at our level. Then the question that Bhikkhu Bodhi raised, if we wish to follow the Buddha's teaching, we must take on board the entire package of classical Buddhist doctrine. So this is the question that we will explore. Okay, I will continue with the next paragraph. For early Buddhism, all the problems we face in deciding how far we should go in placing faith can be disposed of at a single stroke. That single stroke involves reverting to direct experience as the ultimate basis for judgment. One of the distinctive features of the Buddha's teaching is the respect it accords to direct experience. The texts of early Buddhism do not teach a secret doctrine, nor do they leave scope for anything like an esoteric path reserved for an elite of initiates and withheld from others. According to the text itself, text chapter 3.1, secrecy in a religious teaching is the hallmark of wrong views and confused thinking. The teaching of the Buddha shines openly as radiant and brilliant as the light of the sun and moon. Freedom from the cloak of secrecy is integral to a teaching that gives primacy to direct experience. Inviting each individual to test its principles in the crucible of his or her own experience. Let's take a look at this word, crucible. A place or occasion of severe test or trial, a place or situation in which different elements interact to produce something new. So it's a place for us to experiment and then verify for ourselves. So here, this paragraph talks about how to decide how far should we go in placing faith in Buddhism. So here, the text says, one single stroke involves reverting to direct experience as the basis, the ultimate basis for our judgment. Yeah. This line, I like it. One of the distinctive features of the Buddha's teaching compared to other religions is the respect it accords to direct experience. Everything is all about our own direct experience, while other religions leave a lot of room to place faith, and then they cannot verify it on their own. And another line worth highlighting here, secrecy in a religious teaching is the hallmark of wrong views and confused thinking. So if you encounter any system where the master is unwilling to teach or hiding something from you, then maybe you can put a red flag on that system. Here, the teaching of the Buddha shines openly. Bhikkhu Bodhi says, okay, let's see. Okay, I think we can continue next time. Any questions or comments? If not, let's do a dedication. 愿消三障诸烦恼，愿得智慧真明了，普愿罪障悉消除，实是常行菩萨道。阿弥陀佛。Till we meet again, may we be guided by the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Have a harmonious Wednesday ahead. Thanks everyone for participating, and see you guys next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.